Hey guys, welcome back to the third club meeting of our anime club. Just Anime Club.
Just Anime Club?
Just Anime Club.
Indeed.
We're gonna do it every time.
You're not supposed to laugh when we do it. What are you doing? It's okay.
I'm your president, Fabe. We got Huck here, vice president of Just Anime Club, and Anasia, the girl who knows things.
Person.
The girl wonder.
The girl wonder.
The one girl wonder.
Because we wonder what she does. Oh.
Oh.
That's actually not true. She does probably the most things here. So
True at all.
she's actually the brains and works behind this.
I just organize things. That's all I do.
Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the last meetings. We actually, for the first time, had a meeting in between that wasn't live streamed about I can't understand what my husband is saying. So if you have missed that, make sure to check it out. I think it was glorious.
It was really good.
It was amazing.
It was really good.
It was really cool. We had a lot of fun with that. And it's a little bit shorter than the live stream ones too, because we only talked about the anime instead of some other random topics like I'm talking about right now, for example.
Right.
So yeah, that's going to be on the channel. And we're going to keep doing that in the future, most likely. Having one or two animes here and there in between. So look forward to that. Mm-hmm. What are we going to do today, Huck? Or should we...
before we do anything really specific, we need to talk about the anime we've been watching.
Oh.
And I guess I'll go ahead and start off. Because I've been watching Claymore. Which is one that Anasia... I think you previously watched, and I was like, I'm going to watch Claymore.
I've watched it last year, actually, when Anasia recommended it.
Well,
it's
thanks,
weird.
Faye. They just stabbed me right there. Just.
You're good. You're good. Keep going.
Anyways, I enjoyed it, but it's
dark and eerie.
It's one of those. It's just one of those not enough animes. It's so frustrating. So don't just watch it. That's all I'm going to say about it. Just watch it. You know, it might not be your type, but just watch it.
Watch it, and then read the continuation of the manga, which redeems like the fall shorts of the anime.
That's something I didn't do. That's probably something I should have
done. The continuation is actually... I'm not gonna do yeah, the continuation is better. Like the
I
the
heard
ending,
it clears it all up.
Yeah, the ending of the anime, they changed the end so that it would kind of wrap up, whereas the manga continues, and the
anime continues.
No, it doesn't.
It hasn't yet.
No, it doesn't. It hasn't yet, but it's set up for a continuation.
But they left it open so that it could, but it's a different ending than
they
the
were
manga.
expecting a
they
second
changed
season.
It. Yeah, I wanted a second season, but I don't know if they're gonna do it.
The numbers were on the low end, and that's the only reason why it didn't happen.
Yeah, the manga is very good though. The continuation of it.
It's always the money that ruins these things.
Yeah.
And I'm actually going to save my. Wait. I have been watching, before I say anything about that, I have been watching Chaos Head, which is super weird and super intellectual. Like you have to pay really close attention to it, or you'll get so far behind. And it's super...
What is it about?
Let's see, without me giving too much. It's about a high school student pretty much kind of going crazy. Like, these weird things keep on happening to him, and
I could relate to that.
He just doesn't understand if it's his fault or who he is or what's going on. And he's kind of a complainer. And normally those characters annoy me, but in his situation I kind of understand it. So it is really strange. It's kind of weird.
Interesting.
Never heard of it.
My last one that I have, we'll talk about probably at the end of what you guys talk about.
Oh, sounds good. I can go next. I've been watching Ouran High School Host Club. And
What?
I know, shocker.
What?
And Parasite, which we'll talk about later.
Yep.
And I have... I just thought of this, too. I did actually start Death Note. But I've only seen the first few episodes.
How can you stop after watching the first few episodes?
You started... Well,
It's creepy, okay? I was watching it right before bed. I was like, I'm gonna have horrible dreams if I watch any more of this. I need to just take a break. So I took a break, and then I had to watch this. I had other things to watch. I'm gonna go back to it. I'm really intrigued. I will say that I'm very intrigued.
Good.
I'm very.
I guess it's my turn.
Yep.
I've been watching less than last month. Let me just tell you that. Didn't have as much time. But yeah, I started out with watching the Ouran High School Host Club, since that is on our list.
Mm-hmm.
Then I watched, just gonna say it now, I watched Parasite, which we all watched now, and we're probably gonna talk about in this month in our non-live streamed meeting. So you can look forward to that. If you haven't watched it, you can start it and then join in our discussions in the comments of that.
It's gonna be good.
It's gonna be a good one.
It's gonna be.
It's a good anime. It's definitely a really good one. So yeah, I watched that. Then I watched an anime called Strike the Blood, and I kid you not, it is at least as bad as Angel Beats.
Oh my goodness!
It is.
No,
no, don't you
talk
even
about
Angel Beats.
Don't you even?
We're saving
you wanna
that
go,
conversation
bro?
for later.
Let's go.
I mean, it was in a weird way somewhat entertaining, but it was just over the top harem style, and that's it.
Wait,
that's
what
all
is
it
this?
was.
What is this called? I am writing this down, and I'm gonna watch this. What is it
Strike
called?
the Blood?
Strike the Blood. It's this super high school vampire that gets all the chicks.
Sounds
I can't believe you. I just can't trust your word on this. Can't just say that stuff.
So, Huck,
then I watched.
Oh, sorry, you weren't
Oh,
done.
do you want to say
I'm
something?
He's
sorry,
not done
no,
yet.
Go. Keep going.
I'm not done. Then I watched
Oh,
Pokemon The Origin,
Oh, Pokemon.
which is only 4 episodes, and I was
Super sad.
really disappointed it's only 4 episodes.
It's
There
really.
was-
Yeah,
don't
they
think
meant
I've
it
seen
for a
that.
short series, and I'm like, why? You are what Pokemon should have been.
There was so many flashbacks and cool stuff. They could have drawn that out like at least like 12 episodes, right?
No, I want a whole series. I want like 12 series of that stuff, man. That is what Pokemon should have been.
What ruined it for
I'm
me a little
curious
bit was
now.
the
I'm gonna
last
watch.
episode.
Wait, don't give spoilers. Because I
Yeah.
watched Pokemon, but I haven't
the
seen...
last episode
It is
why
the
they
story of
did
the
it only
game.
for-
There's not
for-
really he's
Oh,
not really.
interesting.
There's
So
not
it's like
really
how the
story.
competition came to be?
No. They did it. Okay. Not a mega spoiler, but they did it to introduce the Mega Evolutions. That's why
Yeah,
it was
okay.
only
That was-
4
that's
episodes.
what bugged
Explain
me.
where that
But the
kinda-
thing is, it was better than Ash would ever be. Like just style, it's what we as grown-up Pokemon people want.
I see.
And it's so sad they only made 4 episodes.
Yeah.
It felt so first gen, and then this Mega Evolution comes along, and I thought,
I liked it though. I think it was a great way to introduce it. So
I don't know. I really liked how they picked up on all these little details in the game and made a story out of it. I really enjoyed it, and I wish there was more of it.
Cool.
After that, I watched one of Huck's recommendations. I think 2 meetings ago. Snow White with the red hair.
yeah,
That was the last
and,
meeting.
And
It was good.
yeah,
Yeah, it's good. I
it's not like
enjoyed
super
it.
amazing, but it was good.
It's good. It's really
Yeah.
enjoyable, and I'm probably going to watch the second season sometime soon. Can't wait to see it. I think it got the second season really fast, within a couple of months, not even a year later, which is kind of crazy. So people seem to like it too.
Yeah,
But yeah, I enjoyed it. Kind of interesting. I never heard of it before. Huck mentioned it, and he piqued my interest. Well, actually, what piqued my interest is I was searching for clips while editing the club meeting, and I halfway watched the first episode, and it already got me a little hooked.
Cool.
So that's kind of cool.
I'll have to watch that one too.
And then, probably the anime I
And
spent the
then?
most time with this
the
month
list
is...
goes on and on, my
No. It's called... Okay, let me give you a little bit of a backstory here. Have you guys
And then you watch
seen
forever.
the AI that Google or DeepMind, so subsidiary
Yes,
of Google, programmed
yeah.
to play Go?
Right. Yeah, you were telling me about that.
I was
a little
telling
bit.
Naja about that before. Do you know what Go is, Huck?
Go. I just think of Pokemon Go, but
No, Go is
yeah.
like a 1,000-year-old Chinese-Japanese board game where you have just a grid of 19 by 19 and you place stones after each other. It's like chess on steroids. Like it's a super strategy game. Exactly. And so far, there was no AI or no computer program that could play even as good as an amateur in this game. Because there are just too many possibilities that are not calculable. But yeah, Google made one, and it just beat this month the world best Go player.
No
soft green
way.
guy named Lee Sedol.
Wow.
And that was epic.
This tells me that Google needs to stop. We need to regulate
You've
Google.
gone too far,
You've
Google.
gone too far.
It was really epic. The thing is, one of these matches takes 4 to 5 hours.
That's crazy.
And they were playing 5 matches, and they were playing best out of 5. Well, best out of 5, right? Yeah, that's how you say it.
Yeah. Yeah.
The interesting thing is that AlphaGo, that's the name of the AI, won the first 3 matches, but lost the 4th one.
Oh,
So
interesting.
Lee Sedol actually managed to beat it. And I watched the 2nd game and the 4th game, so I just wanted to see a match that Lee Sedol won, and then wanted to see a match that AlphaGo won. And it super intrigued me. I don't understand the game. I still sat there for like 4 hours and watched that stuff. Main reason why I did it, because last year or 2 years ago, I watched an anime called Hikaru no Go. And that was like a 75 episode anime just about Go. And I think
Really?
it's from the early 2000s, so it's kind of an old anime. At the time, I thought, meh, was a decent sports anime. I enjoyed it, but wasn't something special.
Did it
But-
go into detail about the game and everything, or was it
Yeah,
just more...
yeah. Back then, I just watched it just through, don't caring really much. I watched it again this month. I actually just wanted to watch the first like 10 episodes again because they were explaining a little bit something about the game there, and I wanted to get back into it. I ended up watching the whole thing, and I enjoyed it a lot more this time. Like it's really well made. It's really good anime. Hikaru no Go, in case you want to watch an anime about Go.
Awesome.
And the list goes on, and... Oh, wait, is this it?
That's it. That's
Okay.
probably the reason why I couldn't watch High School Host Club twice.
Got
Shame.
distracted by
Shame,
everything.
because Ouran High School Host Club is one of my favorite animes. It probably does take the cake. So we're excited. Well, I'm excited. You guys should be
I'm
to talk
excited.
about Ouran High School Host Club. All right, let's
Oh.
get into this.
I gotta tell you one thing, Fabe, or
Aw.
not Fabe, Huck, before we
What?
get
Oh,
started.
yeah, your sister hates me.
Yeah, my sister. I told my sister, or she asked me, she was like, when's your next Just Anime Club thing? And I was like, oh, it's on Monday. And she's like, what are you guys talking about? I was like, Ouran High School Host Club. And she's like, oh, that's my favorite anime. And I was like, it is? This was like before I finished watching it, or I just started. So I was still a little skeptical. And she's like, yeah, that one and My Bride is a Mermaid, those are 2 of my like favorite ones. And I was like, you are Huck. My sister
Female
is Huck.
version.
But
No,
yeah, I
it's a
thought
good
it was
one.
pretty
Actually,
great.
I'm surprised I watch My Bride's a Mermaid because it's mature rated. But I was like, I need anime.
Yeah.
Just gotta do it. And
But I'm
then it
glad
was
that
really good.
it
Yeah.
just made me happy that she had the same favorites. I just thought that was funny.
It's
Anyway,
interesting.
Thank you. All right, Ouran High School Host Club.
or High School Host Club.
So the first thing we're going to talk about, first thing I think is very important, we're going to go over the main characters and stuff.
Right.
You want to just start with
Introduction?
Haruhi?
Yeah, that's just
The Haruhi,
Haruhi,
Haruhi
the
Fujioka.
honor student, the commoner.
the commoner.
Peasant.
The commoner that gets bashed for being called
Oh
the
my
commoner.
gosh, they bash her so much.
I love the comedy though about
It's
it.
so
Like,
yeah,
they
it's
just,
so funny.
it's like a different world, and
They're like-
I think that's realistic too. Actually,
The
It's like
instant
the
coffee thing was
naivety of
amazing.
not like they're fascinated with it, but they're so naive in the way that they say things that are so offensive because they come from this elite group, not knowing that. Oh yeah,
That would
but
be
they're also
offensive.
trying to be sensitive about it. In some cases.
Sometimes.
Oh, sometimes it's pretty great.
Yeah, I think the instant coffee incident, like in the
Instant
first or second
coffee,
episode,
yeah.
introduces that perfectly.
It does. It does.
That's pretty good.
Also, the fact that at the beginning, okay, so at the beginning, who thought she was a girl?
I did.
I didn't.
I knew.
You didn't, Fabe. You got fooled.
Wait, is the voice actor a girl or a boy?
Yeah, it's a girl. It's totally a girl.
I couldn't tell the difference.
That's
I don't know.
why,
I don't
like,
know
there's-
about the
after
voice
I
actor.
knew.
When she started talking, I was like, why is the voice actor a girl? Like, I was really confused. And it's like, is this a girl? Like, I was just
I
so
actually
confused
paused it.
until they
And I actually
finally...
paused it like in one of the frames, and I like looked at it. I'm like, that really could be a boy if they had a deeper voice.
Right.
Like honestly, they did a good job.
They did.
So
I mean, it's just a matter of drawing. It's not like they have to
well,
disguise
Yeah, I
an
mean-
actor.
Fabe.
She could have... I mean, she doesn't look that different from Honey, like a grown-up Honey. So it's like...
Yeah.
Yeah, the art style.
So Haruhi, and then we got Tamaki.
I will try this commoner coffee.
Yeah, Tamaki is amazing. Tamaki's weird because he's a person I think has a silly switch, and it's usually on.
Yeah.
His silly switch is like usually on. But I also feel like it's a way to judge people around him with the silliness, like how specifically he is silly. And there is an episode that you actually can notice that, like how it affects someone else, and we'll probably talk about that a little bit later too. So what do you guys feel about Tamaki?
Tamaki is a really interesting character to me, and I mean throughout the show you are learning about each character in the host club. You kind of learn their story. For some reason, it didn't register to me until like those final episodes that I hadn't learned about Tamaki, because I feel like I knew him, but without actually knowing any of his past. And then once you learn his past, once you learn like how tragic his situation is, and like just the fact that he has been completely removed from everything he knew and placed here, and he can't see his mom and he's all alone, I kind of wondered if all of this was almost a coping thing for him. If like I don't know if he's just that happy bubbly all the time, or if this creating the host club and stuff was almost a way for him to create a safe space, kind of create a home, if that makes sense. So when he was leaving, that he just dissolved it. I don't know, because he thought it was just...
Well, he thought it was just him doing it all.
Right, and he thought nobody else thought it was important.
Yeah, he thought he was being selfish at that point. Which, I mean, you find out that he wasn't being selfish. He was just... I mean, it showed out how much he really cared about these people.
Yeah.
And he was willing to give that up for their happiness, which is super important. Also,
and he really does have those blind spots, though, where he just doesn't... He misses things because he's so...
I don't know. Part of me just wants to say that he misses it, but he gets it. He just pushes it back, and he doesn't hit it until he has to hit on those subjects. For me, like, I feel like the silliness and all that stuff isn't necessarily coping. It's just I guess I don't like saying coping. I like to say he's made the best out of a situation, and I think his mom had everything to do with it. I think whoever his mother is had so much to do with how his personality is and the reason why he can continue living the way he is. Is I really think his mom was an amazing person, and that's one of the reasons why his dad fell in love with her. So I mean, there's a lot of stuff there. I think he gets a little bit from his father too. I love that when he gets all crazy, like he has his crazy moments all the time, but then suddenly he'll just like stop, get serious, and he'll like drop a truth bomb. Sudden move.
You know, he just then says these really prophetic, deep things to whoever it is that he's trying to reach. Like he sees them, you know, even though they don't realize it because he's being so goofy. And then suddenly he's like, "This is what you need," you know. And then they're just like, "Oh, he knows me." So I love that he has that ability to kind of just see people, you know, even though he's kooky.
It's true. I never really registered that.
Yeah, he gets people, which I like. A perfect example of that is with Koya? Yeah.
Koya senpai?
Koya, the glasses guy.
Oh yeah. Their backstory is super important.
Their backstory.
He literally pushes him to the point to break.
Shoves him on the ground, flips the table.
Yeah. And even though he broke, you know, he wasn't there because, you know, he wasn't scared of him or anything.
No.
He was totally serious and like, why are you letting everything bother you?
Right.
Yeah. Well, he
says, because Koya tells him, like, why are you, you know, you don't realize how important this is, or why are you goofing around? And then he just like turns the table on him. He's like, I think you're the one who's scared, you know, and because that
was one of the last episodes, right?
Yeah.
When this Kyoya Tamaki interaction was all held up to the last episode.
Yeah. That's when actually character development comes in, and they actually really show Tamaki when he was more he was more French. He was used to the French culture.
Yep.
And you also see the fact that he did he gradually and pretty fast actually got used to the Japanese culture. Because some of the things that he used to say isn't what he says anymore through that snippet.
Yes, indeed.
So,
Kyoya.
Kyoya.
Yeah, Kyoya.
Kyoya.
How do you guys feel about Kyoya?
Kyoya is a really intriguing character.
I would say he's probably my favorite. I just love how he is the brains behind everything.
Yeah, he's like
She's
that
just so intelligent.
logical, kind of manipulative. Well, not kind of.
Yeah.
Manipulative.
Oh, he's yeah. Even
and
though
honest about it too.
Yeah.
he knows how to just everyone. It's
but
amazing.
he's like the sneaky hero. You know, like he doesn't want people to know that he's a good person, and he's trying to hide that fact with all of his like. You know, he says he's self-serving. Yeah. Everything he does is self-serving, which is true to an extent. But then there are examples, like when he's with Haruhi and they're at the shops and stuff like that, and the guy stands up for the woman.
Yeah, the day out.
Day out. That one's
that's
hilarious.
So good.
And she calls him out on it, basically saying, like, no, you helped that lady before you knew who she was, you know.
Well, a lot of the whole anime is about these facades that they're putting on for themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, and he's putting that on because it's expected of him, but he's actually to the point where he knows that's expected of him and will put that shell around him, but on the inside he's doing so much more because of what Tamaki did. And he knows that he has to put that around him to protect everything else. So.
I like that. Oh, shoot. I think I just lost my train of thought.
It happens.
Go ahead.
Do you have anything about Kyoya, Fabe?
Kyoya?
As I said, he's probably my favorite. I just love the way he gets in there and he has everything under control, but is still in the background. I don't know. It's the character that I identify with most probably. I really
plotting in the background.
Yeah.
Put in the Malibu thing.
Yeah,
that was awesome. So Hikaru and Kaoru. Now they are separate. Remember, they're separate.
They are separate. Who do you prefer of the twins?
We're gonna play which one's Hikaru.
Which one's Hikaru?
I couldn't tell.
I think my favorite is
Spunky
Kaoru
Nose. Spunky Nose. She has been like for the last 2 weeks or for the second week of watching the anime. She was like, I'm going to figure out who's who. And she got to the point where I'm like, okay, I'm trusting you. So, and she really, I think she really likes them.
I like them a lot.
They changed, like, they are the ones that changed the most,
yeah.
I get the feeling, from
they have
before
the most
to after Host
development.
Club. Like,
And
their
they're the
character
most
went
developed.
180.
Yeah.
They're the ones that needed the development most
That's
because
true.
they were stuck in their little
They were
family.
isolated in their own
and
world.
then Haruhi comes along and just destroys all that wall and stuff.
Right.
And I think it's awesome.
But yeah, I love that Tamaki did the work. He was so persistent that he drove them to the point of joining. So he got them in the door.
Yeah.
But then she was the one to like break that whole idea that they had in their mind that no one would ever know them, you know, as individuals, that no one would be able to do that. And then I like that after that point, though, throughout the show, they start to develop into more individual people. Like by the end, I feel like you can really easily tell who is who.
Yeah.
Because they've changed a
Probably
bit.
because they dyed their hair.
I love that episode.
That episode.
The manipulation in that episode just intrigues me so much. The fact that, yes, they fought.
but it was planned.
It was so planned the whole time.
I love their faces whenever they get what they want, how their mouth gets really wide and they just have this little eye. It just makes me giggle every time. They're so creepy in the cutest way.
And then they have this weird show for the girls always with the brother
Yeah,
twins.
oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
That was super
the forbidden
weird
love
at first.
between
It
them.
was super weird at first, but you get used to it and you understand.
Well, a lot of the relational dynamics in the show are interesting and weird. Like they do a lot with like poking at gender roles and like just all of those expectations that kind of poke fun at all of it, which I like. Like at first I was like, oh wait, the twins or what? I was like, oh okay.
Like, and are they really, or what are they? Like,
yeah, but by the end I'm like, like it's just like this girl.
They got to her.
Twincest.
Twincest, yep.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, so let's move on to Honey Senpai.
Honey Senpai.
Oh, I love his background story.
His
too.
background story is so badass for such like a little, a little cake
and also
lover.
whenever which episode was it where his brother came in and all of a sudden, bam, bam.
Battle mode.
I love that scene.
What's
so
going
much.
on?
I was like, is this Dragon Ball Z? It's just like instant. But I love how the most innocent looking unexpected character winds up being like the secret weapon. You know?
That's probably on purpose, but
I love
pretty
that,
well
though.
made. I loved it.
I love that.
He's super intelligent though too. Like
yeah,
he knows what he can get away with and how to do it.
He does.
And that's I think that's pretty impressive because when he gets serious though, he's almost better than Tamaki.
Right. Well, when you look at his life story, the fact that he was willing to put away all of the cute things and all of the cake, you know, and he was doing it.
Cake, not the cake.
The cake, not the cake. I love that is his character's like big weakness. It just makes me so happy that when Tamaki's like, you're not being your true self, and he's like, you know, and then he embraces himself, which is eating cake a lot because he loves it.
And was it his brother who mentioned that he's so creepy waking up at night and he saw him eating all these cakes? And
he's like, I have one night a week where I eat as much cake as I want.
Pretty much every second of the day, but
yeah.
Oh my
How
God.
can he eat that much cake? He has to be an alien. It's so great.
And Bun
that
Bun
was probably one of my favorites.
Bun Bun is he's renamed in the American anime. What did they name him? I can't remember now.
I can't remember what they called him.
Who are we talking about?
The bunny that he had.
Yeah.
Oh,
his bunny.
Usa-chan.
Usa-chan, yes.
Usa-chan, yeah.
And the fact the stories about him killing just destroying. What was it? They said they said over in America or something. Like
well, they were
doing
nervous
camp.
that if people found out about his abilities, that it would raise concerns in the UN about Japan because they think he was a secret weapon and all this. For the good of Japan, he had to restrain himself. One of my favorite moments, though, is when they pour tea on Uza-chan on accident. Oh, yeah. And then they talk about him waking up, like about how he is just not a morning person. And just also, the way that they show him, and he like, you know, and the cling, you know, and everyone screams. Just the over expression is so entertaining.
When he gets the tooth.
Yeah, the toothache. Oh.
He tried so hard.
Except for when he snuck sneaky snacks in his bag.
And it just builds up.
Mori is just like.
Which leads us to Takashi Mori. The silent
Mori senpai.
Type.
I like Mori a lot.
How do you guys feel about his backstory?
They didn't tell us a lot, did they?
Well, they had an episode about it. It was the candy episode. I've had an argument with Spunky about this. Because Spunky wants more backstory with Takashi. But I feel like the backstory that is there is all you need because of who he is, really. Mm-hmm. Really who he is really simple. He's a very simple and straightforward person. Mm-hmm. He is loyal to Honey.
Mm-hmm. I remember now what his story was. Yeah.
You know,
that's the only thing I remember, that their families are kind of like in this weird relationship.
Yeah, because they used to be. He's on an off branch of the main branch, and that branch used to serve the main branch. Mm-hmm. Well, they don't do that anymore, but it's almost like he wants to do that. It gives him purpose in life, and I like it because he is simple. That's all he cares about. Mm-hmm. He cares about making sure, and you even see this throughout the anime.
Taking care of his master.
Yeah, well, his best friend almost. Yeah, I mean, they're cousins, but they're best friends. Mm-hmm. And you'll always see them in the background of whatever chaos is going on. Like during Haruhi's dance lesson, they were back there swinging around. When the twins were fighting, Honey like got in the crossfire and like flew over, and then he went over there, catch him, like jumped back. It was hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were really deep throughout the whole thing.
They were,
which I think is important.
I like that we learn a little bit more about Mori as well during the episode with Casanova. Is his name Casanova? They say it wrong
Casanova
so many
was
times.
his nickname that they gave him.
It's
they say his name wrong so many times that I couldn't quite figure out what his actual name.
Like even Haruhi says his name wrong.
They say like Bossa Nova,
says.
and they say like all kinds of things. But anyway, when his character comes in,
it's Casanova. That's what
Casanova.
it is.
Casanova.
Casanova.
Yes. And when he's asking Mori to be, if he can be his apprentice, I like that you see a little bit more about Mori there as well. Yeah, as well as whenever there is a girl who approaches Mori and like loves him, right? And then she realizes that he loves, or that he cares about Honey.
That's the part of the candy episode.
I like that part too. But I like that you get to see those other sides of him through that. It's pretty cool.
All right.
But overall, he's kind of a lot in the background. Like, he doesn't really have a big role.
He's a strong silent type.
I mean, that's him, and that's what I like about him. He doesn't have to be up front, and I think he's a great character just for who he is.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now next topic: gender roles.
Gender roles.
Because this anime is
already?
full. We did a little bit.
We did, yeah.
But there's a couple episodes that kind of really go on, especially the beach episode.
Mm.
When they're on the beach, Haruhi goes up
Mm-hmm.
and tries to protect people. But this isn't necessarily just about genders.
Right, right.
It's intermixed, but it's not just about genders.
Yeah.
So we'll also hit on that too.
It makes a good and interesting point, though, that situation when she tries to save the other girls by stepping in and winds up potentially getting hurt. And then the guys are all mad at her,
Yeah.
And she doesn't understand why. But she forgets that she is frail, that she's not.
I don't think she forgets. She's never. This is what I think it's.
She's
really
always
about.
been the strong one,
Yeah, she's always been by herself.
Yeah, she's always been.
She's never had any help. Besides her mom, it seems like.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she takes care of her dad.
Yeah.
So, and she's used to that, and now she's facing people that care about her, actually. So
I think that's like a really foundational episode for her because it's the first time that she opens up to be dependent or to like be a little bit dependent on someone else whenever the storm hits and she's afraid in the wardrobe, and then Tamaki is there to like.
It's a great scene.
It is. It's such a good scene. I maybe cried a little. It's funny. I didn't cry at all in Code Geass for some reason, even though it was like heart wrenching. But I didn't. But this one got me so many times. And just be like, the bunny, or I don't know. Just like, this is crazy.
Wow.
But yeah, just those little moments, like when they're helping people just be together and fall in love, and it makes me happy. But yeah, that was a really good moment.
So Fabe, how do you feel about the gender?
Yeah.
I mean, you can even talk about
overall,
the fact that they thought she was a boy and then she was a girl. And she doesn't
what were
care.
your thoughts? Like, what was your reaction?
I was surprised. I didn't realize it before. I mean, they had these little light bulbs this whole time, right? Whenever someone noticed it, they had these 5 light bulbs for every member.
Yeah. You got it!
And I was on the Tamaki light bulb. That's for sure.
That's pretty great.
That was
like,
something
I didn't realize
it
any time before. It's interesting. I mean, she said it in one of the first episodes. I don't like to be known for my biological gender, but for the person who I am.
Yeah.
And I think that nailed it right in the first episode.
It's really good. Something that I thought was really interesting watching this show was like how women are portrayed in general. Because aside from Haruhi, all the other girls in the show are crazy, or Lobelia, or it's just psycho.
But those were only the ones that were attending the host club, so you can assume that they are a little bit.
That's true.
Yeah.
But
that
you
was
just,
their target.
I feel like you have a very limited view of like the different types of women there are. I don't know. It was interesting just that there was all that craziness, like just crazy emotionalness. But then there's Haruhi, so she like kind of redeems all of that because she's like the sane one in the host club because she's, able to kind of balance them out and when they're all going crazy, she's like, "Are you kidding me?" I love that.
That brings actually another character in that we haven't talked about is Renge.
Renge. Wait,
She's
who's
so
Renge?
crazy.
Oh, Renge. Every
she has
time
this
she
machine
appears,
everywhere.
every time she appears, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's her. Where did she come from? Who is
That's
she?
how Haruhi feels all the time.
And
she
I
was
still
living
don't
in Paris,
know.
right? And then
I still don't
she
know
just
who she
flew
is.
away.
Like somehow
She
I
was
missed
that obsessed dating sim girl.
Yeah. She was
in Paris.
obsessed about a video game, and then she's seen Kyoya's picture, and it looked exactly like the dating game that she played. So she literally just goes from Paris all the way there to marry him. And then she does this little film thing and tries to help out and everything. And then she just becomes the manager, which I think is a fantastic spot for her.
It is.
Yeah,
fun.
I mean, how did she
Powerful motor. Yeah.
How did she not get destroyed by being rejected by Kyoya? Like, that's kind of crazy that she actually came out on top of it and is the manager now.
I guess she just enjoyed being part of it the way she was, like filling that role so much.
Didn't she leave after she got rejected first and then came back all of a sudden?
Maybe. I don't know. I feel like I just missed her story a bit. But
She might have just for a little bit, but she didn't spend a lot of time doing that. I don't remember necessarily if she left. I just know that she stuck around because she wanted to be a part of the group, and
right. And Spunky,
I
agree.
love it.
Yeah, Spunky said she has a specific function in the show. She explains all the shoujo tropes, which is like so true. I love it when she goes through in the naughty type episode, whenever she's like, they're trying to figure out what to do with this kid. And she goes through and like explains how each of the shoujo tropes work.
Well, she does that with, the naughty type. They also...
And the scary face guy.
Yeah, getting over the sunlight.
Casanova. Oh, and
no,
him,
no, that's not Casanova.
Yep.
That's...
with a brother.
I can't remember
the black
his name.
magic one.
I just think of...
I can't think of his name.
Yeah,
the
I don't know what it's
cat.
called.
That's all I think
the cat.
of.
That's the cat symbol. By the way.
Yes, that's a cat symbol. And that actually is going to lead into the sneaky little things that you might have missed. Now, Fabe hit on it on the light bulb. That's the biggest one. Because when you first watch the anime, you don't pick up what the light bulb means.
Yeah.
I didn't
maybe
catch that
the
one.
very end.
I'm not gonna
I
lie.
caught it when I
took me
watched
the
it the second time.
Yeah, the second time you watch it, you really understand. And the light bulb whole thing was ingenious, for one.
So whenever they figure out she's a girl, is that when you see a light bulb?
Yeah.
Okay.
You see like 5 light bulbs, and after one each other they turn on, and when the 5th one turns on, you see the giant. I think it was probably the symbol for female or something.
Yeah.
I don't know what symbol it was, but
If you notice how fast Kyoya figures out,
Oh, interesting.
like you probably didn't like. I actually last night I think we watched it, and I was curious. I'm like, how fast did he really? It took a comment from the twins to figure it out.
Interesting.
Didn't even look at her. Didn't have to look at her or touch her or
he already
anything.
knew. Yeah.
He just knew the fact that she was secluded was enough
It's like,
to
ding, ding.
to turn it.
don't you think that Kyoya actually has all the stuff from all the people at the school, so he knew it from a list after he heard her name?
Does.
I don't
probably
think
followed up
he only looks
afterwards.
up. He only looks up
Person of interest.
guests. He only looks
Okay.
up guests. He doesn't really, if he doesn't know who they are or anything, he doesn't normally spend time on
But
it. It's always guests.
chances are that he knew about the honor student coming to the school.
But he probably
and-
didn't have a lot of research on it at that time. Because
Maybe.
he is kind of he has his flaws. Like the exam day, he kind of didn't take action on the doctor when he should have. For someone as intelligent as he is, he kind of just let it pass. So it's kind of one of those things. Did you guys, the first couple of episodes, there was arrows that indicated
I love the
direction.
arrows. Like it just like bink, bink. Something's gonna happen. Like I love that.
That's a weird style. Like that's something you
it's
don't see
interesting.
usually.
It's
Well,
literally like pay attention to this.
Yeah.
And then
Well, the
Something
anime
happens
is.
with it.
I feel like it's on an intelligent level, and you almost have to do that, and it incorporates the comedy, and you get
It
things that
does.
go along, and it's like a part of the comedy. The arrows on the banana on the festival. That
On
was
the
one of
festival?
my favorites. When they did,
Is that
that was
like
the second episode.
When they had the giant ballroom and they were trying to get the tea guy with the princess girl together.
right?
Princess,
Whenever is
And
that
then
when
they
Haruhi
were supposed to
kisses?
kiss.
Yeah.
And Tamaki goes down the stairs and
Oh,
then
right,
slides
yeah.
on the banana and then pushes him.
Again, Kyoya is the instigator of all of that. It's
He would.
crazy what this guy can do. Because he was like, he told them before they left, he was like, a little accident towards the end of the night would make things interesting.
But
I wonder
What
if he's
made it
placing all those
interesting?
banana peels because I kept wondering
Because
where the
his-
crap are
how
these
did
coming
he's-
from?
Haruhi's first kiss was from a girl. And Tamaki was like,
and that was Kyoya's plan.
I'm not putting it past the guy. I'm not putting it past him.
I don't know.
It makes
Where did-
business.
I don't know if he
If it
planned that
makes
far.
him money, then
He even breaks the fourth wall in the first episode. I cannot remember what he said though. I wish I would.
I like that they do that throughout the show.
It's great.
They're like,
They're so self-aware.
Since we haven't talked about Mori yet, they just say
Or-
that straight.
Oh,
Suddenly,
yeah.
backstory.
Yeah.
That is true.
I know you're probably thinking. He's the real banana mastermind. Exactly.
And then the monkeys. There was an episode where the monkeys would show up and just throw bananas.
Oh yeah.
Was that the
When
jungle
was
episode?
that was the first time when they went to the beach. That was
The jungle, when they do the
the
jungle
SOS.
thing in
What
there.
was something Isle SOS
Yeah.
where Honey got lost.
Yeah.
They were the
Even
monkeys
though-
already? Wow.
Why in the world were they worried about Honey Senpai?
Yeah, that's that.
When you know
he
about
hasn't
him
been
later,
introduced
too.
yet. No one knew what he was like.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It was and afterthought. It was weird, but
All right, and I think the last thing we're going to talk about, kind of wrapping things up, because we already hit like comedy style and everything like that, is family dynamics.
Oh, family dynamics.
So whoever wants to go on that.
that's probably like everyone has their own family issues.
Yeah, it's intriguing.
Especially Kyoya, and of course Haruhi with
her dad.
with her dad, mother, and mother dad.
Mother, dad.
Mother dad.
Tranny.
That's one of my
Tranny.
favorite episodes whenever they visit her
Yeah.
house, though.
Like
The line
And
just-
their
the family.
assumptions
Oh, I came from
about
work.
what they're gonna see, like when they think that she's gonna pull out the little broken bowls, like, I'm sorry, I don't have enough cups.
The theater of Tamaki's mind.
Yeah, but I love that her dad is transvestite, and just that dynamic
Definitely
added
didn't
to
even see
it
that
is
coming.
so
Like,
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't.
I
either.
should have. You really should. After
And
the
when he
twin
comes,
says,
but when she comes in the door, and Tamaki had just fallen on Haruhi, it's like the worst impression.
I think
so
he
great.
really hard.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so
Yeah,
good.
that's great.
Fun fact. Yay, fun facts. So Kyoya in the manga, his father wasn't like that.
Huh.
His father was actually very supportive of everything he did.
Interesting.
And I'm actually glad in the anime they changed that, to be honest. Because I think for like in the anime, it gave a depth of pushing him to succeed better even than his father. And I like the dynamic of that a little bit
Well,
more.
and it makes everything that he did with the host club and buying out his dad's company
Yeah.
and then throwing it in his face.
Yeah, that was
like
epic.
it makes sense,
so much more important.
Because I think
And then his dad was supportive, right at the end.
Yeah. Well, and when they're at that party and his dad slaps him, I feel like that's the first time that things get really serious, like that they all kind of stop and they're like, "Oh dear, real life," And because that's where like then things start to get bad, with like the grandma then showing up and then and it just
That's when Tamaki kind of the slap kind of makes him, and his father like instigated it a little bit with Tamaki that this is real life too, and you can't just live a fantasy.
right.
But at the same time, they love their fantasy. So
Well, and they're trying to fight for the fact that it's it has value, you know, and that it has changed them. It's kind of helped them find who they are.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting. Can we talk about Lady Eclair?
Lady Eclair.
She is interesting. I thought she was like a snake at first, but there at the end, when you realize that she was interested in Tamaki because his mom was her servant and had been telling her all about him. So she's fascinated. Like she fell in love with him before even meeting him, you know. So but it's just interesting that when she's there, she seems so cold and so toxic. Or venomous, I guess is the right word. In the way that she talks to the other host club people, and she's not interested in. She just wants to take him and leave, you know. So it's kind of interesting. But I'm glad that she winds up respecting Haruhi's love, you know, and it's good.
All right,
I
think we're ready for our straw poll question.
Oh, the straw poll.
All
Ladies
right.
and gentlemen, we got ourselves a straw poll.
We're ready for this question?
Okay, here's the question, guys.
Who is your favorite host?
And by favorite host, let's do it like if you went to the host club, who would you ask for?
You don't, not character development or anything, just if you go to the host club.
If you go to the host club, who do you want to spend time with? And it doesn't have to be weird about gender, just like roles and whatever.
Did Kyoya even be a host most of the time? You rarely see him actually.
You rarely
engaging.
see him.
Yeah, I mean, he was definitely in the background on a lot of like supporting, pushing a lot of stuff through. But I think he did. He probably had a small amount of people coming in to see him. But he did do some of the hosting. So
I'm gonna put up the thing there. I'll
put up
lean
the
this
thing.
way.
You know what?
It's there.
On the thing.
Yeah, you guys gotta open it to see. You got one for Haruhi. Okay, what about you guys? What do each of you think?
I probably would take Honey because
Honey?
He's cute and he has cake.
Oh, he has cake. That's a good point. Honey has cake. Oh.
Yeah, I would probably go with Honey.
Oh, it's not working.
It probably would be the least awkward.
The least awkward.
I don't know. Boy Lolita, grown man.
If you guys aren't able to. It is interesting that Honey is actually like 17 or something.
Yeah.
I forget.
He's 18.
18?
I think.
I know they mentioned
17 or 18
at some point.
Yeah, he's either one.
What about you, Huck? Who would you pick?
It's really hard for me to decide because Honey has cake.
Honey has cake.
Honey has cake.
Let's pretend like the cake isn't as big of a deal.
If the cake isn't there, then I would go with Kyoya.
Kyoya.
I like the intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
I just love intelligent conversation.
I don't remember really a scene where he was presented as a host at the moment, so I couldn't really judge how he would be. I don't know.
I feel like I would feel like Haruhi did with Kyoya at the mall. Like
Yeah.
I feel like if he said things that I was thinking, I would just be uncomfortable. I don't think I would want to hang out with him. I mean, he's cool from a distance, but I don't know. When he's got his glasses focused on you, I feel like that's really intimidating.
The glare.
This glasses thing, that's also...
I love in anime how when they do the glasses, it like shins, like they have a thought or something. They're plotting something. I wish mine did that. Like when I did this, it would just like shing.
So you gotta have like
we'll talk about it. Get you a light set up so every time you do that.
Yeah, get a light set up that way when I it looks so...
In the future, when we all have Google glasses, we can just have a widescreen show when we ever do that.
Mm-hmm. Well, quite a few people are saying Tamaki in the chat, actually. I don't know who I would want to hang out with.
Cast
Nada, you are the most important opinion we have here.
Why am I the most important opinion?
Because this is about gender and you're a female.
Gender doesn't matter.
It does, kinda.
But that's where, like, honestly, I feel like I would get along the best with Haruhi because I identify with her the most. But, like, in that scenario, I don't know. What's the point of being hosted? It's just to make you happy. It's not like It don't have to be. Yeah, it doesn't have to be romantic and stuff, right?
But if you were hanging out with the twins, they would make you way awkward.
Yeah, the twins would be really entertaining. Like, I really like Kaoru, actually. I think I would enjoy talking to Kaoru.
I think it's funny that there's a moment in the second episode where they do their twin says thing, and one of the girls is like, I can't do it. And the other one's like, you have to watch.
Yes.
It's so good.
That's great.
Cool.
When they just can't take it anymore. Also, when Honey does anything, he's like,
yeah. So there were quite a few people who said Tamaki as well.
Like I couldn't deal with Tamaki at all.
Tamaki's just so over the top. He's like
cheese.
He's obnoxious.
He's all about the sweet talk.
Will you ever give me a solid answer? What type of music do you like? Oh, the one that reminds me of you.
Yeah, I know, exactly. Based on the looks of your hair, I can only imagine that your heart is just as beautiful. You know, stuff like that. He just like...
Yeah, I couldn't
such a sweet talker.
Can we have a conversation?
Yeah. Can you not talk about me like I'm... I don't know. Yeah, it's interesting.
I wondered, why were they calling... Like, there were some of the host guests, they were calling them princesses.
Yeah, I think that's just like a pet
translation
name.
Of a certain title from the Japanese.
Maybe. My assumption was it was just like
their stand.
My assumption was it was just like a pet name, because he kept calling himself the king. You know.
I thought it might have come from something like, I don't know,
social standing,
sama, or some of these endings that are translated from the Japanese, and then they thought princess represents that the best.
Maybe. Quite possibly.
Yeah, because there's at least 3, I think. 3 girls claimed as princesses.
Yeah, that seemed a little bit weird to me at some point. I mean, yeah, sometimes you could get away with, okay, that's just if you talk to her, oh, it's a princess. But then again, in some other conversations where they mentioned their names, they used it again, and then it didn't feel
That's true. So maybe
that way. So I was wondering about that.
It could be a social standing like title, because like it's a school for the elite, you know. So they could be
the filthy rich.
Yeah, the lords and ladies, prince and
so
princesses, you know, of Japan, all gathered together.
So who won the straw poll?
Haruhi and Kyoya.
Haruhi and Kyoya. One more important question: who do you think she might wind up being with?
Wait, wasn't she with Tamaki?
In the end, it kind of... I mean, she jumps into his arms, he saves her, but then they go back to the host club, and then their parents are having the argument about who she's going to wind up marrying.
You remember that? Yeah.
And then it just shows the host club together.
You got the twins, too.
I know, the twins. I mean...
both of them haven't given up.
Yeah, Hikaru is... like, Kaoru thinks that Hikaru is falling in love with her, you know? And he's already letting go and
pushing.
He'll
also go for it, too.
Yeah.
If he gets the chance. So, it's pretty interesting.
I like that they left that open. I like that they didn't say, like, here's who won, because it feels like a lot of this has been, like, the battle for her attention.
Yeah.
And
well, the manga, just to put this in there, actually goes through some of Haruhi's college years.
Oh, it does?
Oh.
So it actually goes pretty far into the manga.
Is it like an Ouran college?
Oh, I would be curious
well, you got to remember, she starts this school to be a lawyer. I mean, it's really about school for her. She went to this place to have, you know, credit from a very elite school.
To build her future. Like, she was there for the career.
And you even see that in Lobelia, when they talk about Lobelia, how they're trying to get her over there, but it's always, I'm here for a reason.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I'm not here for the host club, even though I am now.
That reminds me, one thing I wanted to ask you guys. This whole school hierarchy thing in Japan, like middle school, high school, it sounds very familiar to the American system. Is it?
Yeah, well, yeah, like we have separate schools for elementary, then middle, then high school. People split it up different ways depending on where you're at.
And then sometimes you can actually have a middle school and a high school in the same building.
Right. Yeah, it just
But
depends
the overall
on
general education system is very similar. Why is that?
I don't know.
I don't know if it's as similar.
I wonder which is structured off of which, or which is inspired by which.
That's probably
I'm pretty sure that America influenced Japan quite a bit.
Possibly.
When Japan had this policy where they wouldn't let any contact from outside get in, and America was the first one that to convince them to let him in.
Break that wall.
Convince them to let him in. So that's probably a reason why they took a lot of the American system.
But the schooling is a lot different over there, though. I mean, you can say the structure might be the same, but the emphasis on school is so much different. Because here, I mean, you got a lot of kids have to go to school because they have to go to school. There, they don't have to go to school.
Do they not? I always thought that education was like higher importance.
The thing is, if they're going to become anyone, they have to.
Right. Like, but I guess if you're just focusing on like taking over the local family business, maybe it's not as important.
It's not as important, but I mean, like it's pretty competitive there. It's not as competitive here.
Yeah, the school rankings and stuff is a topic in a lot of anime, right? Where it's like the top grade student,
Class A. Like we don't even have
giant
that
rankings.
Yeah, we don't even have that type of ranking in our school.
Yeah, we don't either.
Which is, I think some people are like, well, it's like it demeanors people or makes them feel unworthy, but at the same time,
it pushes them also sometimes.
Yeah, it pushes them.
In some cases.
I want to be Class A, you know?
Yeah.
So
it's really a difficult decision. I mean, you push some in the other direction if you do that. That's the difficult part.
Yep. It's the idea of labeling a group as the elite and what happens to the other group. Yeah.
What about the clubs? Is that a thing in America as much?
They have, like at my schools, they had clubs, not a host club,
you can
not anything like that.
Club.
Well,
if
but our
school
wasn't anything like that.
Club.
Right. Like we
had.
But
it's not mandatory like in Japan.
Is it mandatory?
You don't have to join a club.
You don't have to join a club, no.
Yeah, I don't think. I would assume there would be some schools here and there that would require some sort of extracurricular activity, but I know for the school.
Clubs,
yeah, I know for the school that I went to, being part of clubs was really important for getting scholarships. So I actually was part of a couple of different clubs that mostly did like community helping projects and stuff like that. Just stuff that helped around the community. Mostly.
And was it organized by students or by
students?
teacher?
And then there was usually like a professor who was like the go-to to help organize it, to help make it happen. But it was student driven for the most part. Okay. Some of them have larger like national organization clubs, so that your school will have like a branch from that where they get direction on what they're doing and stuff like that and how they do things. But yeah, because
the only similar thing of club similar thing in Germany is always just by a teacher. Like I don't think there was anything, at least where I grew up, there was never anything that just was by students, for students.
Yeah.
So I think you always have to have a teacher sponsor. But
yeah, sponsor, that's a good word for it. Yeah.
But all right, well, guys, thanks for talking about Ouran High School Host Club.
Yeah, I think that's about everything that we wanted to kind of talk about.
So
let me just say it was definitely a lot of different anime than what I was used to.
Yes.
So I've never watched an anime like that. I was never into these comedic animes. I was always more into the serious story-driven anime, but I really enjoyed it. So I'm glad that you recommended
Same here.
that.
I was really skeptical, honestly. I was like, oh no, I have to watch this thing. And because usually I don't really watch slice of life-ish stuff, but it was so good. Like, yeah.
Maybe you'll appreciate Angel Beats a little bit more.
Maybe I will.
No.
Maybe I will.
All right, so what are we talking about next time?
Next time, guys, we're going to be talking about Trigun. I haven't even watched it all the way through.
Oh, you haven't?
No, I've only seen like bits and pieces. We have like a copy of it. So I was like, I need to watch this. So that's what we're going to talk about next month on May 9th. Now, Trigun is available on Funimation and Hulu. There's a couple of ways that you can watch it. But it looks like it's an interesting world. Like, what would you call that? It's a Western, sci-fi Western?
Yeah.
Kind of Firefly, Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah, Cowboy
Bebop
Yes.
style.
Yeah, about this character named Vash Stampede, and it's
Isn't there?
amazing.
Sounds
so that's what we're
interesting.
gonna.
Can't wait to watch it.
That's what we're
That's
gonna
good.
talk about on May 9th.
Do we need to talk about the month after that? Or?
Yes. So
Oh,
what
yes,
we're gonna do
yes.
after that? So next month with the Nature's anime, every one of us has suggested one for these meetings, and after that, we want your guys' suggestions. So what we're gonna do is you guys are gonna leave anime suggestions in the comments and
this video.
tell us what do you think, what anime do you think we should really talk about on the show or on the meeting. And then we will have some sort of a straw poll probably, or some sort of a poll, which one we're actually going to do. So you can suggest them now, and we're going to announce later the details about how you can vote and stuff like that.
Please dubbed. Please.
Subbed is okay. It doesn't have to be
It's
dubbed.
okay. Just recommend your
Just
things.
recommend whatever.
We'll make some sort of poll. Everyone can vote, and then we'll talk about whatever you guys pick. So
And it doesn't have to be your favorite either. Just what you think would be interesting to talk about.
something you want to talk about. And please avoid ones that have more than like 50 episodes, because there's
That's
not really a way for us to watch that before that point in time.
It's a little difficult.
Yeah,
Don't
unless
worry,
we've already
we
watched
have
it.
everything planned for those bigger ones. but-
Right. But we are going to try and talk about multiple different things in between these things as well. Like coming up in between this and the next meeting where we talk about Trigun, we are going to be talking about Parasite. So if you guys haven't seen Parasite, you can go watch that as well. That is on Crunchyroll? It is
Yep.
on Crunchyroll.
It is on Crunchyroll.
Very good. Kind of dark, very good.
Thanks for
Well,
coming, everyone.
Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye-bye.